Hey, we're back, and thank you for joining me in this tutorial. I'm going to paint a landscape scene or whatever you see through your window. We're going to put details first on the view that we see. In my window, I see my front yard, where are the trees are, the bushes, the flowers, and stuff like that. So, and then I will add the window itself later on. So for now, we're going to use the ocean green from Master Touch for the sky. I'm just going to paint our sky first. And then a Liquitex basic turquoise mixed with it. So just kind of mix it. And then mix with titanium white. So I'm not really going to put a lot of sharp details on this because later on we're going to have like a glass window effect. So you shouldn't see sharp details in our pretty much like background. This is pretty much like a background because the window is our main focus in this painting. Just like that. And I don't want a lot of blue, so I'm adding a lot of, I already have blue in my paintbrush, so I'm just keep adding titanium white for the sky. So just keep adding titanium white in there. And somehow in here, I'll try to kind of illusion my horizon in there. And in my window, I have a, what you call it, like forever green tree. So I'll add the trees in here. I have three of this in my front yard. So I'll add those. It's like a Christmas tree. We use those trees. Especially at Christmas, we add Christmas lights in there. So this one is the light green. I forgot to get me a darker green. So I'm getting a darker green with me because we're gonna use a lot of dark green for my bushes. So this is basic Liquitex Basics flat lucine green. I don't really know how you say it, so I'll just mix it with my light green, and we'll get back on that later for to mix more colors in there. But for now, let's do that and let it dry. I also have one in here. So in my window, I have 1, 2, and I have 3, but we're not gonna add it in any canvas. So it's outside our canvas. But if you're going to have I'm using a portrait canvas. If you're doing the landscape way, then yeah, you probably could add the other 3 in there, but I'm only adding 2. Then I have the grasses. Okay, remember, I don't want sharp colors because this is going to be through windows anyways. So, let's add our color. I mix it with slight yellow and then a lot of titanium white. So slight yellow and green like this. So one edge, one corner has yellow, one corner has light green. So it's going to be like that. But we don't want it sharp green and yellow color. So I add a lot of white. The titanium white. And then just go ahead and mix it in the middle. So it kind of soften the vibrancy of our color. We keep adding the titanium white in there, which what I wanted. But if you want a very sharp green, very sharp intensity of your color, that's up to you. But for me, I'm not gonna do that. You'll see what I'm talking about later on when we add our windows, which what we're trying to show it here, because we're supposed to be looking through our window, our glass window. So I'm just adding this part because I have bushes in the side and also in the bottom. So I'll add first the raw shana. You can add raw shana, burnt shana, and just kind of like dab it. Then I have the dark green and light green mix. Just kind of dab it everywhere. It doesn't really need to be perfect because it's just a bush. So just dab it. And we need to have a darker color of raw umber. Mix it with raw umber in there for now. Because the raw umber is a little dark also. So in the bottom kind of part, add it there. Just like that for now. Because some spot will be darker than the other. And then use the lighter green. Keep adding lighter green in there. Just keep adding lighter green. Then add yellow. This is medium cadmium yellow from Liquitex. So I'm not changing any brush. So I already have mix of whatever color that's in my brush. So that's why it's like looking like that. So that's my bushes. And like what I said, I don't really want a dark or very intense color on my background. So I add titanium white and I kind of just like doing it in the top or on the border, what you call it, in the edge of my bushes. So just add titanium white on your brush. I wipe my brush first from whatever paint we have already in our brush, and then I just loaded it with titanium white, and then just in the top of it. And I try to do this motion while I dab or top the one in the thing, so it kind of like add effect of those leaf edges in my bushes. And then in here we can add a little bit, maybe orange and yellow, you know, not a lot, just like that. We're not really focused on this one, so but it add highlight in there, because our light sometimes will go through in our bushes and then it highlight that some part, but not all of it. We don't really want all of those. This is pretty much, and I have a garden in here, in this area, in my front yard. I have a garden and then a statue that has a waterfall in there. But since we're putting a window ridge or the wood of our window later on, so we're going to have panels of rectangles. So I'm not going to put my fountain, but I will imagine that it would be nice to have a pond in the front yard. So I will add a stone or brick. You can add brick outline for your pond. And then I'll add the water in there. Don't worry about the mixture of your stone and water in your grass, because your pond can be muddy, so don't worry about it. So I'm just doing the ocean green from Master Touch. Just mix it with whatever paint that I have in my brush. Just mix it like that, and I'll continue my raw umber as a stone effect, and then raw shana, just kind of hint, add hint. I'm using a slant brush, so I'm comfortable with slant brush, but if you're not comfortable with it, use the filbert or the rounded one for your stones, and just kind of tap it in that one of the edges in there, so we don't really want a lot. Just like that, to kind of show a mixture effect. Then I'm reloading a titanium white here and there. It's not really, we don't want it in all spots, so it adds effect. And I want more of this raw shana this side. So that's my pond, and I will add mixture of the dark green and our light green as like a grass effect, you know. Remember, this is too intense for me. The color is too intense. I'm just kind of like dabbing it, not on all our spots, but like just a hint. So maybe here, since our rock are still wet, I will wait on the grasses later near it. So this is too intense. I will add a titanium white on the tip of the brush, and then just it kind of smooth the intensity of our color in there. So just adding it. I'm just brushing it up. If you have a fun brush, you can use this fun brush. Okay, so I'm pretty much just adding it like that. It looks like this is still intense in here, and I will layer that later on. One intensity in this painting. The values will be fine later on. So some of my area has grasses now. Some are patchy. You can add patchy also. So I'm adding a raw amber to it. And then another titanium white. And then light green. I want a light green in there. And so then I will add again here titanium white for our bushes, because it seems like the boundary of our grass and our bushes got lost. So I will add the bushes again. Bushes in there, so that we know that our bushes is in there. Then add a little bit of light green next to it. Just don't touch our boundary. Just add light green. Just like that. Okay? So might be, I'm just brushing the remaining paint in my brush. Just stroking it there. That's my pond that I am imagining and wishing I have in my front yard. Okay, and I have a garden in here as well. It's got a brick on it, but I'm not going to add a brick. I'm just going to add flowers. So they were like that. They have different flowers, different leaves going away, going out. So just gonna add all this leafy kind, and then I'll add the flower on it. I'm using the orange. So I have orange, I have pink, I have yellow. I have different colors in that garden, different flower color. So I'm using yellow. This one is yellow. So I'm just stroking it down, nothing special. Then I have red in there too. So I'm using the detailed brush, and then I'm just touch and down, touch and down. So that's all. And I also have some whites in there, so just touch and down, touch and down. So just like that. Add more yellow here. So that's white. And then let's add the yellow behind the white. Then orange. So, and we can highlight it later because the color is so intense. We don't want intense color in there. Or we can leave it that way because it's gonna be covered anyways with our window, and then you'll know what I'm talking about later on when we add the glasses window. Okay, I'm adding highlight on our trees. Just the titanium white in the edge. And titanium white on the edge, not much. Just like that. Okay, and then this one in here is nothing really, pretty much, so I'll just leave it that way. Just leaving that. So you can do it, you can do and paint whatever is in outside your window. Okay, I think it's a little dry, not a lot, but let's add some flowers in our let's add some water plant in our pond. So just like that, just stroke, point and then stroke up, point and then stroke up. I'm using the detailed plant, using the darker green, and now I'm using the lighter green. Just add that way, and then now you can use the light yellow to kind of mix a little bit, or you can also use the titanium white. Okay, so I want a lily pad in my pond, so just kind of make a heart, but not sharp in the bottom. It's like a rounded in the bottom. It's like a round heart, kind of. So if my lily pad is doing this way, I can do it this way. So like that. Okay, that's the darker green part. Then we can add the lighter green. Just add a little bit. There you go. And do the either the dark yellow or the light yellow will work. Doesn't matter. So I have lily pads, and of course we need to put our koi in there. What's a pen? So make sure you put your koi, and I'm doing the white version of my koi. So it's not really detailed because it's under the water, and then it's going through our glass, so it's not gonna be. I have white koi, white fishes. And then we'll do. I also have an orange fish. So don't worry about the exact form of your fish, because you can't really tell afar anyways, because you're in the window. So just make sure you have like a head looking in there and tail looking, and you should be good to go. So let's wait until it is dry, and then we can add our reflection effect in there. When we are done. Let's add some kind of muddy stuff in there. Okay, so that's, you can add more plants if you want, but I'm not gonna do that since I don't really have much plants in my front yard that's looking through my window. So we will dry this one, and then after we dry it, we'll add the window itself and the glasses, then the curtain. Go ahead and dry it. If you can't wait until your paintings are dry, you can blow dry it. I blow dried mine, and then I went ahead and tape it. I tape based on the edges of my window. Like this is my edge in here, my window, and this is the trim of my window in here, and this is the trim. So make sure you don't paint the glass window itself. My trim color in my window are eggshell. If you want white, that's fine, but I'm using the eggshell color, so I'm painting eggshell in the side. Also, if you don't want to do a tape, we can also hand paint it. But I like to do the tape so it's easier and straight. We have a straight edge in there. You can use different colors of your window trim. If your window trim is blue, you can use blue. Pink, you can use pink. So just using the trim in here, just like that. When you add your tape, if you decide to use the tape, dry your painting first and make sure it's dry because it's going to stick in the tape. Right. So this would be my window itself. So this is my trim in here. We're still gonna need to freehand it later on, but at least we have a guide. So, or you can use the other way around to leave the trim where your edges. Put your tape in there and then paint it that way. Paint your background and paint your tape as well, and then just take off your tape later on when you're done. That works too. And so for some people that's way easier as well. I like to do it this way. So I'm pretty much done with this one. So I'm peeling this off. Then I'm painting this part, because this needs to be painted as well. And I'm done with this. Painting this part. Then this. Then this one. And I'm done with this. We'll just connect this too. So if you're confident with your freehand, you don't even need to use the tape. You just go ahead and paint it, straight it, and paint it. No need for a freehand. I mean, no need for a tape. You're good at freehand. So if you can do, just go ahead and straight it. Yeah, don't do the tape. But I'm just showing you that yes, you can use the tape if you want to. And we're supposed to be done with this, all of these. And just make sure you connect all your trims to your, let's see, there you go. Just make sure you connect all these in here and there. See? Doesn't need to be perfectly straight, but it's good and better if you do. And also my ridge, or my this in my window, are not really straight. It has like a little bit bump on the side, so you can do that too. But it's good to have a guide when you do it. Right, like this one in here. So I'm using a eggshell color. You can mix titanium white and a hint of yellow. Or just titanium white. It's up to you. So that's our window, looking through our window so far. I want to add a hint of raw umber in my window frame. In here. Just want to mix it with raw umber to kind of like make a wood effect somehow. Just a tiny bit. Just in the frame part. But in this, I'm not even sure what you call it, but the one in the middle, I'm not going to add it. Just in the frame, just in here. Just in the edges. If you don't want to add it, that's fine too. If you're okay with what you already have. But it's just add like oldness. This is a glazing medium, Liquitex glazing medium. I will add it in a separate container so it doesn't mix with other color, just like that much. And then the titanium white, you just have to mix it. Here's my titanium white in my brush, like that, and then just kind of dab it. If you're not used to doing glazing medium, I would suggest to test it first before doing this. Test it like in a scratch canvas, make a dark color and then dry it, and then add your glazing medium and start doing this so you kind of get used to it. This would be our window, so I'm just kind of glazing it for our window. Also be careful because sometimes it also blend to our paint already that's in there. Careful not to do that. So just adding it. You know what, my brush has a color, that's why. Or our paint is still wet and I'm just rubbing it. I see it now, that's why. But it's okay. It's okay because window can't be always clear anyways, and that's just a eggshell color. So just the window part, don't touch the rim, so we don't get a smudge color in there. So just like that. Or you can blow dry again your window edges and rims, so we can just keep continuing painting it and not worrying touching that wet paint and mixing it with our glass effect windows. So it was like that. There's a hint of titanium white and a glazing medium, so you might not see it as much, but it will add a tiny effects on a window. So just like that. It's our dried window, so you might not see much, but there is a kind of effects in there through our glazing medium. But you can skip that step too, because it's just a hint. It doesn't really show much. If you don't want to add glazing medium or you're not confident with glazing medium. Okay, so we use this to the glasses. I'm going to use it the same way. I don't want to waste it. I have small glazing medium in there and a load of the titanium white. I use the glazing medium. You can just use the titanium white, mix it with water. This is the best thing I can explain it is I want it like a watercolor, not water, yeah, watercolor effect. So my curtain is in here. You see how opaque the color because of the glazing medium. You can get this effect through the water, just a small titanium white and a lot of water. But the problem with water and acrylic is it's not really good to put a lot of water in acrylic paint. That's why we need to use the glazing medium. I have an opaque curtain. It's see-through curtain, so that's what I'm using the glazing medium, because it shows that effect. So, but I'm adding more of the titanium white compared to the amount of titanium white we did in our window. So, and then my curtain shows this way. So if your curtain is kind of, or you don't need to add a curtain if you don't want to. But I have a curtain in there that's very opaque. Like that. See, that's why we skip the step of getting the intensity colors of our flower, because we can do that in our curtain. And just a pure titanium white to kind of like the edges. Get stuff like that. Like in here, get some edges. In here, just titanium white, no glazing. Just like that. And then, of course, where my curtain has like folds, so I'm just using pure titanium white to kind of show the folds of it, like the fold effect, because it's not straight. So then I will add another one in here. I'm adding another glazing since I used the brush for just regular titanium white. I don't want it too much in the side, so I'll just add it that way. So this is my window, and again titanium white, just titanium white to the edge, and the folds, some of the folds, just add like that. Not all, but because it kind of add just my see-throughness of okay. So that's my window in there. So I hope you like this video. Don't forget to like, comment. If you have questions, let me know. You can follow me in Facebook, JJ Burton. My website, if you want to check out the rest of my work, it's backyardkoiart.com. And hopefully you like this, and follow me again in my next video. And don't forget to sign your piece. There you go. I'm signing it. And if you have requests for me, like next time you want what art you want to see, or you have something you want to learn on the next video, you can also do that. Please comment, share, and if you don't agree on what I did, let me know. If you have better ways of doing it, let me know as well. But this is just how I do my simple step-by-step window, looking through the window tutorial. You're welcome to make a suggestion in the comment below. Thank you for spending time with me. You have a blessed day.